Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. Yes, Luffy's mother is going to be revealed in One Piece, and she's way more incredible than you could ever imagine. It all starts with the mystery surrounding Luffy's mother, a figure Oda-sensei has guarded like buried treasure, never revealed despite 27 years of manga. In chapter 432, Garp mentions Dragon as the father, but the mother? Nothing, just an empty space screaming secrecy. The theory suggests she's not just an ordinary housewife, but a warrior on YONKOU level, maybe with a mythical devil fruit that rivals Big Mom or Kaido. And as Dragon's right hand, she orchestrated global revolutions while secretly raising Luffy. Picture her, a woman with wild hair and fiery eyes like Dragon, wielding a power that can boil the seas or split the sky, hidden away in the East Blue to protect her son from the world government that hunts her as a Yonko level threat. Why? Because she saw the potential of Joy Boy and Luffy back in chapter 1043 and sacrificed everything so he could grow free, away from the wars she and Dragon were fighting in chapter 904 against Marijoa. This identity would fit perfectly with the lore. The Revolutionary Army, led by Dragon in chapter 432, has commanders like Sabo, with the Mera Mera no Mi in chapter 744, and Ivankov, with the Horu Horu no Mi in chapter 543, but it's missing a top female figure. Luffy's mother could be that missing piece, a revolutionary dragon met in God Valley in chapter 1095, during the massacre where he saved Kuma and shot a celestial dragon in chapter 1160. Maybe she was a buccaneer like Kuma, with superhuman strength that could tank Buster Calls, or the wielder of a mythical zone fruit that turned her into an elemental beast, like a storm dragon rivaling Kaido in chapter 923. Hidden, she may have indirectly trained Luffy, leaving hints like the straw hat Shanks gave him in chapter 1, maybe a gift from her through Dragon, to guide her son toward Nika's destiny in chapter 1044. Now, imagine the reveal. Luffy, post-Elbaf in chapter 1158, receives a Den Mushi message from Dragon, or finds a poneglyph mentioning a woman of fire who fought by his side in the Void Century. He rushes to the Sunny shouting, "Guys, my mom is a Yonko? She's like Big Mom, but cool!" The crew would be stunned. Zoro growling, "If she's strong, I want a duel." Sanji lighting a cigarette, "A Yonko mom? I'll cook the banquet of her life." Robin smiling, "This explains Luffy's will. She must be a D too." Luffy would laugh like in chapter 1045, embracing the chaos. "Ha ha ha, my mom is awesome! Let's find her and eat meat together." Why Yonko level? Because Dragon, the world's most wanted man in chapter 432, needs a right hand to balance his power, and a woman who tanked the God Valley massacre in chapter 1095 would be perfect. Her fruit could be a Logia of lava or wind, rivaling a Kainu in chapter 550, or dragon storms in chapter 100, letting her vanish into volcanoes or hurricanes. As a buccaneer, she'd have insane endurance, like Kuma in chapter 1095, surviving government hunts. Hidden in the East Blue, she could have watched over Luffy from afar, maybe as the mysterious woman Garp vaguely hints at in chapter 432, stepping in at key moments like the wind saving Luffy in Logtown in chapter 100, not from Dragon, but from her. Her secret could be dark. Maybe she sacrificed everything to shield Luffy from the government, which hunts her as a Yonko because of her ties to the Ancient Kingdom, revealed in chapter 1115, where Vegapunk explains the kingdom fell to the 20 kingdoms. As Dragon's right hand, she orchestrated attacks like the Reverie Raid in chapter 904, using her power to infiltrate Marijoa. Luffy discovering this would shake him. "Mom, why did you hide? I wanted to know you." But she, emerging from the shadows, would say, "Son, I hid you, so you can be free now. Fight with me against Imu." It would be epic to see Luffy, glowing in Gear 5 in chapter 1045, fighting beside his Yonko mother, laughing as they tear down the empty throne in chapter 1085. Luffy's reaction would be pure joy mixed with confusion, like when he reunited with Sabo in chapter 589. "Mom, you're a Yonko? Awesome, let's eat meat and kick celestial dragons." He'd embrace the legacy, turning the secret into strength, the same way he embraced Nika in chapter 1043. The crew would explode with reactions. Nami calculating, "A Yonko in the family? We're going to be rich." Usopp exaggerating, "The captain's mom is stronger than Kaido? Then I'm the Pirate King's uncle." This family bond would raise Dragon's revolution, with Luffy's mother as the force uniting pirates and revolutionaries against Imu. Why is this so amazing? Because Oda loves strong mothers, like Big Mom in chapter 830, and giving Luffy a revolutionary Yonko mom would add deep emotional layers like Ace in chapter 576. She might have a storm-controlling fruit explaining Dragon's mysterious winds in Chapter 100. And as a buccaneer, she could tank Buster Calls, surviving the historical erasure in Chapter 395. When Luffy meets her, he'd shout, "Mom, you're awesome! Let's free the world together!" This theory is a gut punch that makes One Piece shine, giving Luffy a Yonko mother who fights beside him against the government, laughing like Nika as the world changes. Luffy's mother will be the key to One Piece's final revolution. Imagine the impact of that revelation. Luffy finally understanding the magnitude of his mother's sacrifice and strength, uniting the forces of his D bloodline like never before. Until now, Luffy's journey has been about inheritance and destiny, with his father Dragon as the revolutionary figure and his grandfather Garp as the marine hero. But his mother, she was the foundation of who Luffy is today, the silent strength that kept him off the world government's radar until the right time. Her great reveal could come at the perfect moment, maybe after the Elbaf battle, a turning point where the biggest answers about Luffy's past begin to unfold. In the middle of rising tension with the world government, Dragon, knowing the fight is about to escalate, reveals that Luffy's mother is still alive. Not just an ordinary woman, but someone of colossal power. She wasn't just a spectator or simple supporter of Dragon, but a true warrior, maybe even more dangerous than many pirates of her era. The discovery could come through a poneglyph, mentioning a woman of fire who fought beside Dragon during the God Valley massacre, something no one ever knew. Luffy, incredulous but thrilled in his usual way, could ask, "Really? My mom's a Yonko, like Big Mom, but cooler?" The whole crew would be stunned at this revelation. Nami, sharp as ever, would instantly think of all the wealth within reach, while Usopp, as always, would exaggerate, "The captain's mom is stronger than Kaido? Then I'm the Pirate King's uncle." But the most important moment would be Luffy, laughing the way only he can, embracing the revelation and the bond with his mother, recognizing the journey she endured to protect him. Her power, her devil fruit, could be a Logia or a mythical Zoan, maybe a fruit that controls storms, thunder, or lava, something that would give her the ability to blend into her surroundings, commanding the winds and natural forces in a way similar to Dragon, but with an even more devastating strength. Luffy has always had a bond with the winds, and with the freedom of the sky, like in the moment at Logtown, when he was saved by a mysterious wind, and now, realizing that his mother shares this connection with the natural forces, would mark a turning point in his evolution. The revelation also adds an emotional layer to Luffy's story. He has always been shaped by the people he meets, his friends, his rivals, his mentors, but the presence of his mother introduces a new perspective on his own identity and his bond with the D. If Dragon, with his revolutionary army, represents the struggle against oppression, then Luffy's mother would embody sacrifice and unconditional love. Her choice to stay hidden in order to protect her son from the government and from the wars she and Dragon fought was a decision she made fully aware of the risks, but certain that Luffy needed to grow free to choose his own path. But Luffy's greatest challenge will be to face his mother's moral dilemma. She had to make difficult choices that kept her apart from her son for so long, all to protect him. Will he be able to forgive her for her absence? Or will it fuel his determination to fight the world government even more? Since Luffy always believes in the power of human bonds and the value of freedom, the revelation about his mother would most likely strengthen his resolve to tear down the system of oppression he despises. At the same time, it would force him to reflect on how he can protect those he loves without sacrificing everything, as his mother once did. The battle against Imu. The true strength of Luffy's mother would be revealed when, alongside Dragon and the revolutionaries, she finally joins the fight against Imu, the world government, and the system of oppression that has ruled the world for centuries. Her presence, with her immeasurable strength, would bring the balance needed to face not only the strongest pirates, but also the darkest figures of the government, such as the Gorosei and even the ancient weapons. Luffy, with his Gear 5, and his mother, with her immense elemental power, would unite in an epic way to destroy the Empty Throne and the Old Order. What would this mean for the story? At its core, the revelation of Luffy's mother would serve as a tribute to the central theme of One Piece: the fight for freedom, the pursuit of truth, and the dream of creating a better world. Throughout the series, Luffy has always stood out as someone who does not carry the weight of guilt or revenge, but rather an unshakable spirit and pure determination. The presence of his mother as a warrior, someone who fought alongside Dragon and who sacrificed so much to protect him, would bring him a new kind of legacy, a strength not only of his own making, but also born from the love and protection she gave him. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.